Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, but we're relaunching the Mad Montreal Man show. And this time around, we're going to keep it shorter. I haven't built the set yet for the show yet, but I figured it's about time I start getting these videos out there again. And not too long ago, I asked, what kind of topic would you like me to talk about for the first new episode? And a few suggestions, but I chose one that I thought was sort of important at this time, especially in the States and in Canada. It was a comment by Allison, who asked me to give my opinion on how I would vet a politician. And it's a good topic, too. But to first understand my opinion on it, one thing you have to know about me is I don't believe in political parties. I honestly think that political parties are corrupt. It's kind of like religion. It's corrupt. Political parties have their own agendas. And in an ideal world, for me, you wouldn't have political parties. So that's one thing I definitely am strongly opposed against political parties, because as you know, political parties are supported by corporations and have certain agendas. They're all trying to, push down people's throats instead of fixing the real problems. That said, how would I vet a politician? Well, here in Canada, to work for the government, because I used to be a government employee, and before the government starts coming after me for, making statements, this is my own opinion. I do not represent the government's opinion on this, but it's a fact that to work for the government, you have to follow their own values and ethics. In my opinion, most politicians in Canada would lose their job because none of them really follow values and ethics. That's besides the point. But to me, there are three important things when it comes to vetting a politician. Number one is, do they have a criminal record? That's important. Because if you have a criminal record to be in government, well, here in Canada, just being a government employee, depending on your clearance, you have secret, top secrets, and different levels of top secret. You have to have criminal checks. You have to have background checks. So to me, if someone has a criminal record, that's a red flag right off the bat. But I'll get back to that in a minute. Another thing is have you ever made comments that would be deemed like, hey, racist? And I'm not talking about giving your opinion. Say, for example, well, I think that this government in this other country is so-and-so, but when you have comments that are openly racist, that literally call for the extermination of other people or put them down as inferior human beings. And I'm not talking like, they're the way their society is inferior to, say, a free society. I'm talking about literally saying that they're subhuman. That's a major red flag. And lastly, to me, which is one of the most important one is what are their affiliations? Who are they affiliated with? Now, I'm going to give you an example. When I started working for the government, I had to have a criminal background check. Okay, no big deal. I passed it. But as my security clearance got higher, well, for example, my last job, I had to go through a process where I had to find information on my ex-wife's parents. Now, my mother-in-law, who I always called Mom, I loved dearly. I had enough information about her. It wasn't a big deal. She came to Canada when she was 16. But my ex-wife's dad, my opinion, was a scumbag. I think I met the guy once. Didn't like the guy. Literally not a good person. But I had to dig up information on him to supply so they could investigate to see if I have any affiliations with China. 3 months, 3-month delay because of that. So one of the things to me that's important if vetting a politician is, do they have any affiliations with, say, third parties? For example, are they affiliated with a government that in some way we consider hostile to our government? China, by the way, is one of those governments that we consider somewhat hostile to our interest. So, for example, if someone has affiliations, either corporate or personal, with, say, someone from North Korea, that's a red flag. It's one thing to think a different government has a better way of doing things. Like, for example, if you think communism is great, well, that's your opinion. It's not my opinion, but it's your opinion. That's fine. But if you have affiliations with companies that support a hostile government, if you have affiliations with a terrorist organization, That is a major red flag. And that one's the killer red flag for me. If you have those kind of affiliations, that's it, done. You shouldn't run for office. You know, if you're best friends with, say, a communist dictator, red flag. You should not run for office. But let's get back to the first 2 points. The criminal record one. To me, that's a red flag, but it doesn't eliminate you right off the bat from being a politician. Because, say, for example, you got a criminal record for something you did when you were 18 and you were stupid, and now you're in your 50s. You learned. You got better. So it's something to be taken into consideration. If your criminal record's for something you've done recently, forget it. You shouldn't run for politics. You know, it's one of those, like it really depends on the situation. But if you do have a criminal record, right off the bat, it's a red flag, and we're going to have to look into it. Now, depending on what the criminal record's for example, if you got arrested at a protest, okay, it's stupid, it's minor, it's a criminal record, but that's not going to stop you from running. Okay, second point. If you've made racist comments, same kind of thing. If you make racist comments when you were 18 and you didn't get to know people from around the world and you were, believing in stereotypes, but now you're much older, you've learned that was wrong, once again, you can overlook that. However, if you make racist comments, say just the other day, and it's blatant that you've been making these racist comments all along, forget it. You're not running. The last one, though, to me, it's an automatic kill. If you do have affiliations with a hostile nation, a terrorist group, or a corporation that literally has no decent interest in helping your country out, for example, big corporations that, will do their best to stop innovation, to stop progress, that's a red flag to me. Because those are the three main things. Now, I could add a fourth red flag because we don't live in my ideal world where there's no political parties. Another red flag to me is your political party. Where has your political party stood on, corruption over the years? How many times have they been called out for lying, for faking things, for false news, for false rumors? That, to me, is something to take into consideration as well. Now, for me, the ideal politician would be someone who would have no affiliations with big corporations or political parties, and they would be elected based on merit and if they actually have proper solutions to fix problems. I've always said we should take care of the problems in our own country before we start looking at the rest of the world, because that's important. Take care of your own house before you fix somebody else's house, because your house is going to fall into disrepair, which unfortunately happens a lot in a lot of countries. So for me, you got those three major points for being a politician: criminal record, comments like racism and so forth, and affiliations. Those are the three. Fourth one would be, the party you're representing. Is it really a party that's going to fix things, or it's the party that's going to do the usual same old? How much corruption has been in that political party? That's another red flag to me. But we don't live in a world that doesn't have political parties, so when I talk politics with my friends, we literally discuss about politicians as a whole, as basically there's really no one decent to vote for anymore, so you have to pick the lesser of all evils, and sometimes it's hard. Because, as I said previously, I don't think in the States or in Canada right now or in Britain, Ireland or Scotland or in Australia, New Zealand, there's not one politician who hasn't in some way crossed the line with values and ethics in some way that would literally make it a red strike against them. But that's my opinion on how I would vet a politician. I would look at those factors. Now, unfortunately, political groups don't do that. Our political parties don't really do that. They don't really look into that. They just kind of go as, we have this much money, let's elect somebody. And that's it. So I hope you like this. This will be posted on TikTok. It's also going to be posted on YouTube. So if you're watching this on TikTok, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Now on YouTube, it's the Mad Montreal Man channel, as you know. On TikTok, it's going to be under my name. And I don't mind if you don't like my opinion. It's my opinion. I'm going to try to keep this down. I'm going to wrap this thing up. And check out both. If you want old stuff I did on YouTube, Mad Montreal Man. If you want toy reviews, on the peg. And if you want more of these kind of comments, of course, TikTok's going to be the best place. I'll be keeping these under 10 minutes. And on that note, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to the next topic, and there'll be a few more coming up. Until then, take care of yourselves, and, just take care of yourselves. Have a good day now. Mad Montreal Man out.